afternoon.
Welcome to the Wonderland Yarn podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And we are a podcast about yarn and knitting and crocheting and occasionally spinning and other things fiber related.
Mm-hmm.
And we are coming to you.
And lots of nonsense, too.
And all kinds of other silliness. Stick around for the end of the podcast. There will be more. We are coming to you from our yarn shop in Shelburne, Vermont,
Mm-hmm.
where we sell a lot of really cool things.
Lots of local yarns.
Yep.
And
Actually, this all right here.
it's all local.
It's all cool
Goodness.
Amazing. And actually, this you can't see because you're that.
That. Although you can't see, this is kind of the back side of this display because there's a box bag.
It's all glare too. That was awesome. So you can find the store out on all forms of social media as Must Love Yarn. And please feel free to follow on Instagram, like us on Facebook, join our Ravelry group. I think you can follow on Twitter, but really it's only stuff that we
have already posted. Yeah, I just have it linked, and actually
Yeah.
I think the link got broken, so
We
may not be posting anything up on
maybe there's nothing over on
Twitter right now.
Who knows?
You know.
But you can find us all at all of those places, and our online store is at mustloveyarn.com.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm Angela.
And I'm Kelly.
And you can find me out on social media, Instagram and Ravelry as Junior Bird Kid.
And you can find me on Instagram as Kelly O Spins, and you can find me on Ravelry as Kelly Spins.
And we have once again forgotten our podcast mascot.
Mm-hmm.
So clearly we are very bad mascot parents.
Mm-hmm.
We do have a meerkat.
Not a real one.
No.
The way you said that, it's like, we have a meerkat.
We have a pet meerkat that runs around our store. No.
Can you imagine?
Oh.
There would be yarn everywhere.
You probably need a special permit for that.
Yeah, you probably do.
Okay, we have a stuffed meerkat, though apparently Kelly and I are adopted parents of a meerkat somewhere.
It's like a stuffy meerkat, not
Yes.
like a
Oh,
taxidermy meerkat.
It's a stuffy.
I thought I'd just clarify all these. She's the actual attorney who's probably, but she has to do this on a daily basis, so I'll
Yes.
just do it for podcast basis.
Less important meerkat. We have a stuffy meerkat named Gage that gets into some shenanigans. And Gage has her own Instagram page as well, which we have linked to in our show notes. So, though Gage's page has been a little bit quiet because I'm the one in charge of it, and it's been a month or so. So maybe small business Saturday. Maybe that would be a few months off. Local yarn shop day, which is coming up in about 10 days.
It feels kind of like Small Business Saturday, though, because people come out to support their small local yarn shops.
Exactly. So, and we normally do not get all dressed up, fancy, in tiaras and
It's a tiara!
and party beads.
People who watch Big Bang Theory know why I do that. And I do that every time.
But it is our third
Podiversary. Yay!
So Kelly and I have been doing this for 3 years. Is it the electronics in this building?
Maybe.
I'm messing with it.
Maybe that's why my computer crashed. Honestly.
Okay, so it's apparently going to be that episode. The last 2 weeks we've podcasted, my iPad has just decided it's got its own agenda.
Mm-hmm. It just stops.
In about the same spot.
Yeah, it was.
Very weird.
Weird.
Okay.
Hopefully we won't have to stop and start a bunch. Although our podcast is probably going to be pretty short.
Yeah, there's... Though we say that and then
We
like
just
an
talk.
hour later, the cake kicks in, or the cupcakes kick in. So stick around for cupcakes, because we have cupcakes at the end.
We did.
And
Not quite 10 minutes of cake like last time.
No.
Like last year's.
Last year.
Not last time's podcast.
So anyway, so yes, thank you everybody for continuing to come back and support the podcast, because we wouldn't be doing this if folks didn't enjoy it.
Mm-hmm. And thanks for letting us know too, because we've had quite a few people coming into the store and just lately, which is really fun, who are our podcast viewers, and they're like, thank you so much for doing what you do. And
Yeah. And someone got
That's so
super
sweet.
lucky because all three of us were here on Saturday.
I know.
with it.
I know. Isn't that great? I know. I
So
love
cool.
it when we can. Yeah, because I might be here,
Mm-hmm.
but there's no guarantee that Andrew Jen will be.
Yeah.
So
It was
it's
just-
kind of fun. I know. It just
it was
happened to
super
work
fun.
out. Unfortunately, it's because all of our people were sick, which is so sad. It's that rough time of year.
Ugh, tell
It's
me
been
about
going around and around.
I'm so
and
done with
around.
it. So done with all of it. But anyway, that is not why you came to this podcast. Well, I think sometimes people are here for that. But you're also here for the knitting.
And crocheting.
Okay, crocheters. We'd like to start our podcast with our pick of the week.
Yes, we do.
And Kelly picked a really fun one this week.
I did. It's so bright and cheery, and it's perfect for our
Totally perfect.
3-year podiversary.
Yes. And so the way this works is we'll show you the product and then we'll give you a coupon code. And for the next 2 weeks, you can get 10% off in store or online. And if you need some help with where the coupon code goes, we did a tutorial in episode 73. So,
Yep. I'm pulling up a picture.
okay.
I thought I had it pulled up, but it disappeared. Oh, there
It
it is.
disappeared. And so this week's pick of the week is
Dun,
dun
dun,
dun dun.
We showed it to you. Well, yeah, we did
We
show
did.
it to you.
Yep, in the crinkly plastic bags.
In the crinkly plastic bags.
Ah.
It's Wonderland Yarns, and it's their blossoms. It's our pick of the week this week.
so pretty.
They are so pretty. And I didn't bring them all over. I think there's 12.
It just
14?
it just screams spring.
I think there's 14 different colorways.
Whoa! Did
There's-
we get all 14?
So we did, because they have this great thing. It's a starter pack where you get
Oh.
2 of each color, and the 2 of each color that you get are the reverse. So some, like this one here, this one is the green to the pink, but the other skein that we have is the pink to the green, and they look so different. Some of them look really, really different
Yeah.
than their mate does, and you would never know. So if you order one and you get one, it's just reversed if it looks different than. But the cool thing is the pictures that they took and put online. We use the ones right from Wonderland Yarns. They are they put one of each next to each
Oh,
other when they
cool.
photographed them. So you'll see them both. So
Nice.
And we can't guarantee that we'll send you the one in the order that you want, but you can always just pull from the inside or the outside depending
Mhm.
on which one
way do
you
you want
get.
to use it?
Yeah. So they are blossoms from Wonderland Yarns, and Wonderland Yarns is a company in Brattleboro, Vermont, and they're really a great little company, and they've
Mhm.
grown a lot, and we just really like them.
Yeah, they have great yarns. They did a local yarn store day colorway too.
Yeah, yeah. So let me give you the details on this. It is fingering weight, and it is a sock yarn. It's a 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon, so it does have that nylon in there. So you could use it for socks, but your socks would be different colors because, of course,
Mm-hmm.
they'd be kind of like cousins or something.
Where you could do cuff to toe and then do toe to. You could like you could work it that way, and they would
You
look
could.
pretty.
They would look,
Interesting.
they'd be kind of fun if you,
Yeah.
especially if you like mismatched socks. But it'd be great for shawls and
Mhm.
and other fun things that you mix it up with too. So they are 425 yards and 4 ounces, so that's 113 grams about. Machine washable, but for best results, they recommend hand washing to preserve the life of the color. So that's the scoop with these.
Nice, and those retail for.
They are $36, I believe. I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure.
That's what the tag says.
Did it?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Are they tagged? They are.
Yeah.
Look at that. They have prices for now. Imagine that. Sometimes we just put it on the little label on the shelf, and we don't put it on the yarn
barcode,
itself, because
yeah.
sometimes there's a lot of yarn to tag, and
Sometimes the prices change.
sometimes the prices change. Just, nobody likes that. Even us, we don't like that. So there's a picture that I took that shows all of the pretties lined up on the shelf. Isn't that fun? I love that. So, anyway, Weekly Pick Blossoms.
Works for me.
Weekly Pick Blossoms with an S at the end, because that's what they are.
And it'll go, I put it down. I'm having finger issues down there.
Down here in front of me. It'll be down
Yeah.
there. So.
Exactly. Awesome.
So that is that. Weekly Pick Blossom.
Nice.
Oops.
So what you wearing, Cal?
Oh, here, let me take my
Take a pot of bids off.
Take my, whoops, my crown's coming too. Oh well. Alright. I can sit there for now. Oops, I left one. Have an FO. How many of these did you give me? Holy moly.
I gave you half of them.
Okay. That's a lot. I finished my cowl. Yay! So this is a granny cowl, and I have to put notes in Ravelry, but I ended up making a couple adjustments to it. But crochet, that's the nice thing about crochet. It's so easy to, make changes on the fly, which it is in knitting to some degree too. But so the triangular part I made a little bit smaller, and I made it until basically the two ends of the triangle just kind of came together at my neck, and then this part, which is kind of like the cowl part, which is just around, I made longer. So on hers, I think in the pattern, it's called the Granny Cowl by Sherry Bondi, and it's on free pattern on Ravelry, so you can check that out there, and I've linked to it in show notes. But she made that part. I'll take it off so I can show you.
And that's the yarn that was last week's pick
Yep.
of the week.
Last week's pick of the week, the Godifra. So that's what it looks like when it's off.
Nice.
And so you can see in the back. So the one that she did, I think she only has you do just a shorter, like a couple inches, and I made mine longer, and I ended up using a good part of the skein. I have a little bit left, but I probably, if I wanted to, I could have kept going and made it taller, but I kept trying it on. That's the nice thing too. You don't have to worry about it being on needles, so you can keep trying it on. You just pull kind of a big loop, and then you can pop it on. So that's what it looks like. I haven't blocked it yet, but it is cotton, so you kind of give it a good couple pulls on it, and it kind of lays the way you want it to anyway. So that's
nice.
It's my FO that I started last week on the podcast. Isn't that fun?
That is fun.
I've been kind of doing some crochet lately, so, but I
Nice.
really like it, and it's good. It's 100% cotton. No, it's 90% cotton, 10% polyester. I think. Polyester. I think it's polyester that has a little bit of stretch in it. So, because you can use it for socks, which I know some people have done. But it'll be great, like a great summer cowl I can kind of just throw on. So, yeah, I'm really happy with the way it came out. Even though it did a little bit of color pulling. Like, there's so much green on this side, and this side is, like, so much purple. But I don't care. I like it.
The way it happens sometimes.
Yeah. And it's really comfy to wear. So, and I've, because I made my Paris and Berlin, the one that I knit, and it's this shape, and it's a cowl, and I don't have to worry about it falling off, and I really like that cowl and the way it sits really well.
Yeah.
So this was perfect, and it was so easy. So if you've done, any kind of granny square stuff before, you can do this really easily. It was super easy. So check that out if you're looking for just a really quick, fun crochet project.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yep.
I'm wearing my, it's kind of all gotten itself all lopsided, my spring into summer shawl, which is by Amina Phillips, and actually used a mini skein pack from Wonderland Yarns. The blue is a Round Mountain Fibers, but there's lots of other great companies.
Yeah. That you can use for that.
Yeah, but this was one of their packs. I think
Yeah,
it was
those
pepper. No, it was the coal to smoke or something. Anyway.
We have those in stock too.
Yeah.
They're really nice. That little baby sweater that I did for Chelsea's little girl Lily.
Yes.
I use that yarn. It is the softest
so
softest
nice to
yarn.
work with.
So that base that we have, the mini skein packs in, is their Cheshire Cat yarn, which is 100% merino, and it's really lovely, so soft.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice yarn to work with.
Exactly.
So I'll recrown myself.
Exactly. So Kelly wins the finished object this week because she
I
actually
do,
had
but
one.
you had one last week.
Oh yeah, the hat.
You had the hat,
Yeah. I was like,
which I wore last week instead of
Yeah.
my crown. Yeah. So this is my finished object. Yay!
Yay.
I'm just gonna have to start crocheting now so I can have finished objects all the time.
I will say that's the one downside to being in the sweater knitting
I
mode is
know.
it does take a little bit longer to finish
It does,
a sweater.
but they're so rewarding when you do finish them. So
So I will say the only thing that I've been working on knitting wise has been my Ingalls sweater.
yeah.
But I am on sleeve number 2. So sleeve number 1 is done.
Yay!
And I'm making good progress on sleeve number 2.
Look at you go.
So because I totally want to jinx myself, I should have a finished object next week.
It's so funny.
Isn't that funny?
Yes.
Yeah. And in fact, in anticipation of having a potential finished object, I actually caked yarn for 2 new projects.
How exciting.
Yes.
Was one of them the little tank top that you showed me?
It is. So one of them is a pattern called Gretel,
It's really cute.
which I would have cast on already, but I'm waiting for the pattern.
That's yarn she got yarn for, and it was only available as
An actual physical pattern.
a
And I
paper.
might have thrown a little hissy fit about that.
But it's forcing her to get her sleeves done, so
I know, 'cause
it's kind of
It's not that bad because if it would have been an electronic pattern, I would have cast it on Saturday and probably set this aside.
she would have, because she was
Yeah.
she was picking out yarn and
Yep.
yeah.
So I've been saved by the form in which the pattern is in.
That's so funny.
So, yep. So that's one, and the other one that I caked yarn for is the little red pullover
Okay.
that I'm gonna make for Little Miss.
Nice.
Yes. So she helped me wind the yarn.
What yarn do you have for that?
Fiber Stash,
Okay.
Ursula, and
Oh, that's right.
Is it Dottle?
Dottle, I
Yeah,
think.
it's
Yeah.
Dottle.
I think you're right.
I figured I should probably start using some of the yarn that I bought at some of these events and try to resist the urge to buy more yarn
I know.
when we have those trunk shows in about a week or so.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
So bad. So
Yep.
bad. So yeah, I haven't worked on anything else. None of my socks. None of the cuffs. I haven't worked on Change's shawl. Like nothing. I've just been knitting around and around and around. And also just feeling like I haven't actually had a huge amount of time to
Yeah.
knit.
Yeah, I haven't done, I mean, I worked on this, and that's the nice thing with this was just so easy. Like, I didn't have to have a pattern, so if I was, going somewhere, doing something, it's a small enough project, and it's the same, it's just double crochets, and so
Yeah.
you don't really, and some chains, and that's all it is, and you don't really have to remember a pattern at all.
Yeah.
So
Oh.
that's been really nice to have.
I take it back. I went to a banquet last Friday night and I took my socks with me and worked on the socks at the banquet. People were taking pictures. I was like a sideshow.
People were taking pictures of you working on your socks.
They all know I'm a knitter, so they thought it was funny.
That is too funny.
It was like a fancy banquet, and I was working on actually these socks. So I made some progress. I can't remember when I showed these last.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
cool. That's really funny that they were sideshow Ange.
With sideshow Ange.
Oh goodness.
I mean it in a nice way, not in a like
Yeah.
What is that lady doing? They were just all laughing at me because
No, I
they
figured.
know I'm a knitter. So they were like, "You brought your knitting?" And I was like, yeah.
Of course I do.
Of course I did.
Oh, that's funny. Funny.
Yeah.
Funny.
So that's it. So because the sweater was too big, that would have been
Yeah.
that would have
That
would
been-
have just been weird.
Yeah.
Sock, totally fine. Sweater, come on, lady.
Oh my gosh. So I worked on my Fuzzy Along project a little bit, but the crochet just kind of won over, and so I didn't get my Rosamond t-shirt done, which was, my Fuzzy Along.
Okay, I didn't get my Fuzzy Along done either.
But I cast on. I don't know. What do we say when we start a new crochet project? Hooked on?
Well, on Ravelry, that's what it says. Hook it.
Hook it. That's right. Yeah, when you started.
Hook it.
Hook it.
You crocheted it on.
Chained on. So I decided to start another crochet project, and so
Must be something in the air.
I know, right? So this is the yarn I'm using, and this was the pick of the week 3 weeks ago, which a lot of you took advantage of,
Mhm.
which I'm excited to see what you're going to do with the yarn. This was not as one of the more popular colors, but I thought it was so springy, and I love the yellow and the green, and it goes down to a blue and then purple. So this is the Knitting Fever painted lace, and it's a cotton yarn, and it's more like a fingering weight.
Do they classify that as a sport?
Yeah, they do. They actually have it as a number 2. So they call it a sport weight. It's 874 yards on the skein, which is great because crochet uses up more yarn than knitting does.
Yeah.
And it is 100% cotton. So, but yeah. So that is the yarn I'm using, and I am making that shawl because I thought it would be really cute in this yarn because it's a really long, because it's kind of like a gradient long, super long sections of color. I think it'll be pretty. So
Nice.
I just started it today. It's
so
that
cute.
wee. It's just a teeny little crescent shawl at the moment. I can turn it this way.
It's gauge size.
It is gauge size. So
Kerchief.
that's what the pattern's gonna look like, and it's really cool. This yarn is really neat. So it's like what 2 strands of the light kind of lilac-y purple color, and then it's 1 strand that changes color. So it's got this kind of turquoise blue and orange and a yellow in it, and that is running through and is changing color in this, and then eventually it's going to transition from the purple to the blue to the green to the yellow, but then it has that other strand that runs through it the whole way, that is also changing color. So it's really kind of
The
fun.
interesting marled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the colors within each of the sections change. So like the yellow also has blue and purple running through it, along with that kind of aqua blue and orange. So
Cool.
it's it's
Kind
really
of a fun yarn.
So I'm kind of curious to see how it's gonna come out when it's all done. So we'll see. If I keep crocheting at the rate I'm crocheting, it won't probably be done because it's a bigger project than my cowl, but you know.
never know.
You never know.
Aim big, Cal.
I
Aim
know.
big.
I know. If I have time this weekend and I'm not, doing other things, then I've really got to get some outside work done, but only if the weather cooperates.
I know.
So
That has been the issue.
it has been.
I did get to drive to Bennington on Monday morning.
You got to.
I got to.
It was your privilege to.
Almost thought I wasn't going to make it.
Uh-oh.
Because there's so many roads closed
Yeah.
because of the flooding.
It
In
rained.
fact, Route 7 in Rutland was closed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of roads were closed. all like in the middle of state. So Route 100, Route, what is it?
103 was closed.
107?
107.
107, that Stockbridge area, that area always, and they got hit hard for, I think it was Irene.
But they also got hit the one before that as well, like that area for whatever reason.
Yeah, they do, because it's this really narrow little valley, and it's, you know, where the mountains come down, and it just washes the roads out.
Roads and bridges and
yeah.
So that was super fun. But I made it down there, and everything was in a little bit better shape when I came back up. Though some other areas were starting to flood.
Yeah.
Later in the day.
Yeah, because it takes a while. There's still snow pack in the mountains.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, even if we get like heavy rains, we'll get localized flooding. But then it takes a couple days for some of the snow that's melted because of the rain to also make its way down to the
valleys. You could
valleys.
see down the mountains the rivers of water that were just sheeting down the mountain.
Yeah.
It was pretty intense.
Yeah.
So it was very exciting. Not really, but so that was my
But we didn't
adventure
get
on
the
Monday.
blizzard like a lot of people got. Or the,
We
oh
did
my
not.
gosh, the tornadoes.
Yeah.
Oh.
But it's super windy today. I was telling Kelly I made a poor wardrobe choice by wearing a dress today. Because it is really windy. It's like blow your skirt up in your face windy.
And it's not like a pencil skirt dress or something like
No,
that.
it's
That
a
would
loose
actually,
sort of
it's like a
open.
really nice lightweight knit
Flowy dress.
flowy dress.
So that I've had a couple of Marilyn Monroe things that have already happened today in the dress. Yes, I was having fun pumping gas too. Anyway.
Trying to hold everything together.
Kind of. Yeah, it's super blustery and windy out there.
It really is.
But it's like 60 degrees. It's very weird.
Yeah, it's supposed to be nearly 70 tomorrow.
Oh, cool.
But rain.
Cool. So I did not list my acquisitions in the acquisitions section because I figured I'll wait, and when I start that project, when the pattern shows
Gotcha.
up, I'll talk about it. But we have some events coming up.
Mm-hmm.
And so Saturday, April 27th is Local Yarn Shop Day.
Local yarn
Local
shop.
Yarn Shop Day. We would love to have you come see what we got going on. We have 2 awesome trunk shows that are going to be running. Silkworm Studios is going to be here. That's Rachel. She's done a Seasons of Vermont box for us, and her yarn is delicious. There's no other way to describe it. It's beautiful. And then Liz from Kingdom Fleece and Fiberworks is going to be here as well, and her yarn and fiber, fleece fiber, is also stunning. And they have completely different dye ethos or dye styles.
Yeah. Which is great. I mean,
Yeah.
it'll be great to have both of them here because they do
such different
things.
Yes.
And Liz has been posting on her Instagram account.
I know, I've been like,
a lot of the stuff that she's bringing. So if you want sneak peeks, follow her on Instagram.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure it's just Kingdom Fleece and Fiber.
I think so.
I think that's hers, but you'll find it. I can link
Yep.
it too.
And same with Silkworm Studios.
And Silkworm, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, so we're pretty excited about that. If you're not local to us, try to hit your local yarn shop that day. If you don't have a local yarn shop, we're very sorry. We feel your pain.
And you can, there is a website specifically for local yarn store day. And if you go to that, they'll tell you which yarn stores are participating because not all yarn stores participate, which is a shame. But,
a shame.
you know, to
Yeah.
each their own.
Yep.
You know, gotta
Yep.
make the decisions that's right for you.
Exactly.
And, but yeah, so they should have them listed. And some people just don't realize that there's
A day.
a day or a site. So it's run through TNNA, which is a needlework association,
Yep.
and which we're members of. So we get the emails, but if people aren't members of it, then they may not realize that there's a
Right.
whole
Promote
celebration
your-
for the store.
Promote your local yarn shop day.
Yeah.
Out there. So, and I think, you know, the downside is we know we have such a vibrant online community, and there's a lot of the stuff that we've been showing or talking about we can't offer through our online store because it's all meant to drive traffic into the stores, foot traffic into the stores. So
that to keep people's local yarn stores, like the brick and mortar stores, going, because, you know, TNNA, a lot of what they're trying to promote is places where people can go, especially, and get help locally, and the community of behind knitting.
Yep.
So a lot of it we can't sell online until 2020. If there's exclusive colorways and things like that. And the Wonderland yarns, the yarn that we have is what we have. Yeah. So once it's gone, unfortunately. And I probably should have ordered more, but I wasn't sure, you know,
what the demand was going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll know for next year how much we need. So.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it's really pretty, and we've got a lot of just other pretty yarn too.
Well, and the 2 trunk shows. I mean, there's going to be
the 2 trunk shows are going to be awesome, and a lot of the companies are offering up free patterns or just different things happening.
We usually do some level of door prizes and other things throughout the day as well. So.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
So, and there's some more yarns that I'm going to put on sale before, because I know that's popular. I tried to fluff up the sale table
and I've also heard a rumor that there's going to be some events going on for Worldwide Knit Public Day here. Something about yarn and knitting games.
Right.
And other tomfoolery.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So that's coming up in June. I want to say just June 8th. Does that sound right?
Yes.
June 8th.
And a little plug for Green Mountain Crankers. So there's been, so anybody that has a circular sock knitting machine in kind of Vermont area, there's a group on Ravelry that's formed, and they're actually doing a crank-in in Burlington that weekend. So it's the 7th, 8th, and 9th, Friday through Sunday. And there's actually a registration for it. So if anybody's interested, feel free to let me know. And I can forward the information to you, or I can put you in touch with Nancy, who is doing the registration.
Nice.
But she did send along to me the forms. And so I can forward those along to you, which also has her contact information if you have any questions about it, because Nancy is the one that's kind of spearheading this.
Cool.
But Jamie from Erlbacher Gearhart is going to be here. Jamie Mayfield is going to be in that area. She's visiting some friends and family, I think. So she's actually going to be here for that, which is really exciting, because I haven't met her yet, but if you know of Erlbacher Gearhart, that's the sock knitting machine that I have. Her videos are great that she does. So yeah, she's going to be coming up, and it's just going to be a really fun event. It's happening at the fairgrounds, the Champlain Valley Fairgrounds.
Cool.
And they've got a room there. And on Saturday, the event is open to the public, so you can actually, if you can just go and watch and hang out and look at stuff. And I think there is, if you want to participate in the other events, though, there is a fee for that. But feel free to just send me a message if it's something of interest to you. So,
Cool.
Yeah, I know, it's really cool. So it's that same weekend. So if you're in town for one, you can maybe check out the other one too.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. We've also picked a date for our Stitch and Pitch in July, July 27th. I did not add any of this to the show notes.
You're remembering this from memory? Look at you go.
The email that you sent. That's how I know.
I know, right?
Which I just read not that long ago.
Excellent.
I'm pretty good with dates.
Hey, you read my email. That's.
I did read your email.
At least you weren't like, email from her.
Whatever. I already know what's in this email. No, inevitably there's something in there that I was like, I didn't know that was going on. So July 27th is our Take Me Out to the Ballpark night.
Another 27th.
I know. With the Vermont Lake Monsters. So we won't have tickets for that until probably mid to late June.
Yeah.
Because we have to wait for the Lake Monsters season to start.
They start because,
It's a single A ball club,
Yeah.
so their season's pretty short.
Yep.
We could do another custom baseball shirt order.
Mm-hmm.
With people's ability to put like their Ravelry ID name on the back and a number on the back.
Only 2 digits though.
Yeah, only 2 digits. So if there's interest in me doing that again, we kind of did it last year, so I think not as many people were able to participate in that. My bad. So I'm starting the announcement early. So if it's something you think you'd be interested in, let me know. I think those shirts ended up retailing for about $35.
Yeah.
And it's definitely cool to be able to get one with your name and stuff on the back, I think. Or your Ravelry ID. I probably have to get another one. I've been using mine to sleep in, so it's been getting used. It's a great sleep shirt. Because it's got like the 3/4 sleeves, but...
And switching back and forth between single crochet and double crochet.
Oh,
and
so
then
you were
that's supposed to
concentrating.
be-
Oh, okay. So just let me know, guys, if you want me to arrange for that again. I probably would do it in like June, maybe middle to late June, so the shirts would get to people before the ball game at the end of July. So just shoot me a message, ping me on Ravelry, or send me an email or something.
And it's going on the same time as the Great Northern Yarn Haul.
Yes.
So if you're, traveling around and trying to hit up those yarn stores, if you plan it right to be kind of on this side of Vermont, this side of the yarn haul,
Come to the Stitch and Pitch with us.
you can come to the Stitch and Pitch with us.
And I heard something about yarn bombing. We did get clearance from the ballpark people to yarn bomb, but I'm not sure that they understood what that concept was.
Yeah, he was like, okay.
He's like, no, that's totally fine. You can do whatever you want. And I was like, did you just give us permission to
I
do
know.
what I
So
think you did?
if we're in like one section again like we were, and maybe like some of the posts and things, we can yarn bomb and Champ.
Yeah.
We said maybe we could do a knitting lesson for Champ during the ball game. That'd be hilarious.
We should yarn bomb Champ.
We should. We can make him a giant scarf.
Giant scarf. We already have a giant ball of yarn.
We'll be done with it by then.
Oh man. So that's just a little flavor of the fun stuff we have coming up this summer.
Yep. Yeah, the yarn, so just so you know, the yarn haul, the Great Northern Yarn Haul, is the July 12th through August 4th. So that is happening again. I know Jen, our other business partner, is kind of heading that up, and we'll be finalizing. I think she'll be getting a list of the stores that will be participating this year.
She herds that cat around.
Yes, she does. So that information isn't up yet for the participating stores, but there is a Facebook page where most people kind of post, the stores that are participating, they kind of post what they're doing throughout their respective store events.
And there is a Ravelry group as well.
Oh, that's right, there is one for that too.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep. So we've got one. Oh, and we've also posted class schedule.
Yep. Just a little
short mini.
Just a couple intro classes for crochet and knitting.
I should probably take the crochet class, don't you think?
Jen took it. And then
I know, and look at how much crochet she's been doing.
Yeah, well, she said it was good because then at least she can help some people with some of their
That's true.
crochet questions when they come in.
That's true.
And there's also some SSKs, which are my Saturday sessions with Kelly, which are just kind of a group that I have that meets so people can bring whatever knitting project they're working on if they need help with it, if they're stuck, if they've had one kind of in timeout for a while.
It's kind of like a non-private private lesson.
Yeah, it's a semi-private private lesson. So I limit it to 6 people, and it's 2 hours, and it's a reduced rate from what greatly reduced rate from what a regular private lesson would be. So I do this usually one Saturday a month in the morning on Saturday. So yeah, people seem to like those. I get good feedback on it, and so if you have a project that you're stuck on, or you want to learn a new technique or something, I've got those too.
Nice.
Yep.
So, and we have the New to Me Along is still running through the end of this month. So lots of cool projects being finished and put up in the finished objects thread. And if you're just looking for some inspiration or some new yarn dyers or some new pattern designers, we have lots of links, and there's lots of great suggestions in the chatter thread. So if you're looking for to try something new, even outside of the knit along, take a look at those threads. They're pretty. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, they're great.
So, and we have closed the fuzzy along. I went out this morning to go lock the threads, and I was like, yeah, the thread's already locked. Somebody was on top of things, and it was not me.
I know, I was surprised when I went and they weren't locked, and I was like, wow, I actually get to do it before Angela does.
I have not been on social media of any form in like the last week.
I want to make sure that I got my fuzzy pictures drawn. My fuzzy drawings drawn.
Did you see the 3 red dogs, the post with the dogs with her socks on?
That was really cute. I know, everybody was really creative. But there was too many cute ones, so I just did random number generate for all my picks. Because I seriously couldn't pick. I would have all of the fuzzies.
They're all so cute, aren't they?
Oh my gosh. I love animals so much. They just make me so happy.
Do you want a dog? No, I'm just kidding.
Sure. She can come live with me.
She found something in the woods and I couldn't get it away anyway. Yeah.
So I did random number generator and came out with 2 people to give prizes to, and one happened to be a picture of a dog and one happened to be a picture of a cat.
Totally random.
I know. So I completely forgot the prizes at home.
It's totally us.
It's been a really long week. It's been a really long April. So you just have to bear with me. They're really cool prizes. Aren't they lovely?
They're beautiful.
I know.
Use your imagination.
Insert prize here.
It's the mystery prize.
No, they're really great. So they're skeins of yarn from my stash, and that I love, but I know I'm just never going to have time to knit everything that's in my stash, so I'm starting to be really good.
Then shedding some of those as well.
Yeah. So the 2 prize winners. The first one is Knit Takes 2, and that's Michelle in Georgia.
Woo!
Yay! And she has a picture of her kitty, and her kitty wasn't with any of her knitting because she had to post a picture of her kitty because he was at the vet that particular day.
Oh.
But hopefully your kitty's okay. But it was so funny. So when I looked at the picture when it came up from the number generator, the kitty is a beautiful gray kitty, and my last kitty, my second to last kitty that I had was that same color, and he was the coolest cat I have ever had. His name was Sterling, and he was like the dog cat. He totally
had a couple of those.
Acted like a dog most of the time.
Yeah.
And he and my dog that I had at the time would play nonstop. Like he was a big cat, but you know, he's cat sized, and she was like a 70-pound dog, and they would roughhouse and play and wrestle, and it was hilarious because, you know, here she is, this big 70-pound dog, and here he is, this little, you know, 12-pound cat. And
I have a couple of those right now.
Yeah, and so it was really funny. So it just reminded me of Sterling. So I thought that was really cool. So congratulations,
Yay.
Michelle. So contact
your
me.
mystery prize.
Your mystery prize. I'll get your mystery prize out to you. So contact me with your address, and I will get that off to you. So you can either send me a private message through Instagram or Ravelry, or email me, kelly@mustloveyarn.com. And then my second random number generator pick was ChemGeek83, and that's Autumn in Halifax, Nova Scotia. I want to go to Nova Scotia so bad. I want to go to Nova Scotia and Prince Edward Island.
Road trip.
I know. My grandparents used to spend a lot of time. They would go up and spend like the summer in Nova Scotia, and I never ever went with them, but I should have. Anyway, that's, for a later time. So she posted a picture of her dog Muffin with all kinds of knitwear, and Muffin is super, super cute, and it's really funny because Muffin looks almost just like the dog that my sisters and her family, she's got 2 girls, just adopted, I think at the beginning of this year. It was like January, February, sometime in there. And yeah, it looks just like their dog, Charlie, that they adopted. And it was so funny, and I was just like, what are the odds? But anyway, so Autumn, same thing for you. Just send me a message either through Instagram or Ravelry, or email me.
And Kelly will send you your mystery prize.
I will send you your mystery prize.
Woohoo!
Woohoo!
So I drew...
And thanks for posting pictures of your fuzzies.
Thanks for
They all
playing
made me
along.
so happy.
They're so cute.
They are.
So I drew a prize from the finished objects thread.
Mm-hmm.
And the only reason that the prize is here is because I pilfered it out of the prize box. Because if I would have been in charge of bringing yarn from my stash, I not only would probably not have had it picked out, but I definitely would not have had it with me. So
it was so silly because I told myself just before I walked out of the house, I'm like, do not forget that bag of yarn, because there's more than that yarn in it. There's some other yarn for prizes down the road.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I can't believe I forgot it.
I know. So the yarn that's here for this prize is something that is out of my stash and got brought the last time I was doing...
You did a purge?
I did a purge. And so I thought, what better yarn for the fuzzy along than some beautiful 100% cashmere. So
Lovely.
this would make a fantastic cowl, or you could probably do like some
fingerless
knits or something. So this is a 2-ounce skein, 400 yards of cashmere. And because I can't just do yarn, you're also going to get some great stitch markers from the Sexy Knitter. So
they're the little origami stars. They're really cute.
It's getting some glare.
Here, I'll put it on.
Kelly's like, I'm just gonna unwrap it. Like,
You can pop it
pop
out
it out of there. Okay, there we go.
there. They're really cute little origami stars that she does in this little vial. Isn't
Yeah.
that cute?
It was
So
part
cute.
of one of our Seasons of Vermont boxes last
was.
year. So these 2 items are going to be going to drumroll, post number 33, NZ Purple, which is Pam in Virginia. And Pam made the prairie mittens.
Those are really cute.
They look so cute, so fuzzy and warm. So congratulations, Pam. So if you would like to private message myself or Kelly, either one is fine. It doesn't matter.
Because she just forwards them to me, and then I
send
mail
it to her.
them all
She
out.
does all the shipping. I would break her system. It's a thing. It's happened.
We don't let her touch any electronics in the store.
Which is funny because I do all the IT stuff at my office. But anyway, on-site IT stuff. But it's just, I don't know. Shopify system doesn't like me. So, congratulations.
Yay!
I hope you enjoy your cashmere.
And thanks to everybody who participated.
In our fuzzy along.
Yeah, you guys have been like stellar in participating in Angela's cowls.
I know.
I say Angela's because she's the one who's gonna.
I know, and I had a couple that I was working on, and then I kind of lost interest is the wrong word.
I'm gonna have to do a crochet cowl.
Maybe we should let Kelly do a crochet cowl, and she
Cowl
can
with a C.
mock me into participating. What do you guys think? Should I participate in a crochet along?
You can come take my crochet class, and then you can come crochet.
So one of my kids has kind of gotten into Pokemon and discovered that there was a ton of Pokemon
The amigurumi.
but they're all crochet.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's a giant jerk. We were looking at trying.
Well,
I was
because it's
I know.
easy and you can shape things so easily.
I know exactly why it is.
Well, didn't you have those little Star Wars?
Yeah, and I made exactly one stormtrooper, angry stormtrooper. His eyes were really angry. One angry stormtrooper, and I have not made any of the rest of them. So yeah, I have some stuffies to crochet, and what I was looking for was like a hat, like a Pokemon hat thing that I could knit, like that was a color work type hat. And unfortunately, all of those other things came up when I was searching. So
and he's
he was
like, "Oh,
I
like
want
that
one! I want that!" And I was like, "Oh, they're all crochet." But if anybody could
Mommy doesn't crochet.
if anybody could get me to crochet, it would be my kids, to make them something.
There you go.
So. But I find it humorous because that child has not had any interest in stuffies ever, and yet he's there. You should make me that stuffy, and I'm like,
That's really fun.
how about I make you this Star Wars hat, which I know you'll wear.
Yeah.
Not till next fall or winter, but
Yeah.
you'll wear it. So anyway, so stay tuned. You know, we're cooking up something good. I was thinking that we could do like another like t-shirt along, summer shirt along, because it's kind of that season.
It is.
But I was trying to think of a clever name to be have it not be exactly the same as it was last year.
Maybe I'll do Angela's Not Allowed Crochet Cowl.
Oh. That. Yes. Yes. That's awesome. That might be the name of our podcast this week. Angela's Not Allowed. Man. Yeah. That's pretty funny. Pretty funny.
It's a good thing she knows me.
Oh yeah, no, it's fun. It actually is really funny.
This is how we rib each other.
Yeah,
It's kind of like we're sisters or something.
a little bit. I think we had some early questions about whether we were.
I know a lot of people thought we were.
Yeah. Huh. Oh. No, we are not.
We're from opposite sides of the country.
Yes, we are. Sisters from another mother. So I don't think I've got anything else. I feel like there's something else that we were supposed to. Oh, we were supposed to give out Meerkat Instagram verses today, but clearly we're on top of that. We'll try to do that next week. See if we can't get our act together.
We can do that next week.
But you know what's going to happen next week's going to be even more chaos. A stomach virus has entered my house. So there's, I know, an outside chance that we might not be podcasting next week, depending on what condition I'm in. Yay, kids. So on that cheery note, oh man.
What else do we have? Do we have
So
anything
done
else?
with winter.
I know.
Anything else? Stay tuned for details on the upcoming retreat coming summer 2020.
Summer 2020.
We booked the place.
Mm-hmm.
Have dates.
Same place we were this
Same
past time.
place as before.
Which is good, and it's right on the lake, so in the summer it's gonna be so fun.
We're so excited.
It'll be.
It's early summer.
I was gonna say. I was like, should I say? It's gonna be early summer.
We're not gonna give you specific dates, but it's gonna be in early June.
Early June. Yep.
Early June 2020.
Yep.
So.
Yeah. So keep your calendars
Yeah.
clear in early
Yeah.
June.
And we've
If you want to come, that is.
I will say we've learned a few things.
Mhm.
What works well, what maybe we could change. We will be making some changes to the pricing structure, just a little bit. But all in all, I think we had a good weekend.
It was so fun.
It was super fun.
Yeah,
So-
and it'll be fun in early June with
I
the weather
have no idea
and
what this is doing to my hair.
I mean it was it was really pretty, and we lucked out
Yes.
for the
we did.
weather in March.
Yeah.
But
But June should be.
June
gorgeous.
will be nice, and we're like it's right on the bike path, so you can walk, or if you want to bring your bike, you could.
Yeah.
And
It's easy into
going
downtown.
into downtown Burlington is fun. It's a fun time of year to hang out on Church Street. There's so many great shops. Ooh, I think early June is when the jazz festival is.
Oh my
too.
God, it is.
Yeah, so the jazz festival will probably be happening. So there's going to be a lot of things going on that time of year.
Yeah.
In Burlington. So
Yeah.
it'll be a really, really fun time of year.
Super awesome. We're so excited.
Yeah, it'll be great. So.
So stay tuned
Mhm.
for more details
I know.
on that one.
Yeah.
And what'll happen is we'll just la 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 la, and then we'll get to be like February or March of next year, and we'll be like, oh my God, the retreat, which is kind of what.
No, we won't. We'll be so
I'll be
good.
like, wah! Ah!
Oh, goodness.
Anyway,
Goodness.
super fun.
Look, I went a little further.
Yay!
It's hard for me because I don't crochet as much as I knit, so it's hard for me to like pay attention to something else while I'm
Right.
crocheting. So I slow
Right.
way down if I'm talking or watching TV. But
So I've gotten a couple of questions about how, like, I knit so fast. I don't actually think I knit that fast, but that's just me. Or how I'm able to knit without looking at it. And so I thought I'd maybe answer that a little bit on the podcast too. And I will
Yeah.
say, it's practice.
yeah.
Like the number of it, so it becomes muscle memory. Like
Yeah.
my fingers and my hands know what it feels like when I catch the yarn in a stitch.
yeah.
And it's just that level of familiarity.
Mhm.
And I mean, at this point, I've been knitting for well over a decade and a half, and probably for like the last 10 years, knitting, like not just kind of dabbling.
Yeah.
So that's part of it. I will say the other thing is that both Kelly and I have very specific types of projects that we work on while we're podcasting. So I can't work on all types of projects
Yeah.
while we're podcasting, and I tend to pick ones that are a lot of times in the round.
Yeah. Same
that
for
are-
knit groups and things like
Yep.
that too. Like when I
Yep.
go to knit group, I always have some pretty
Yep.
easy
Yep.
something that I'm working
I'm
on.
usually not working on something that requires me to read a chart or
Yeah.
concentrate on cables or anything,
Yeah.
fancy increases or decreases or, stuff that I can just go. So that's why you see me working a lot of times on socks or sweaters once I get to
Once you're in the body of
the
them,
body
or-
of it. Like I'm
Yeah.
not, you didn't see me working on the color work portion of the sweater
Yeah.
when I was doing that on the podcast because I couldn't.
Yeah.
So it's, picking the project for the situation. And that's part of the reason why I think most of us have multiple projects on the needles.
Yeah.
Is because of kind of like a project for every occasion. Kind of.
Kind of.
Or that's just my story and I'm sticking to
No,
it.
I
so.
a lot of times like to have like one fairly easy project going
Mhm.
and then one project that is a
little
little
more
bit more brain
complicated.
involved.
Yep.
So that I can decide on what I'm either in the mood for or what depending on the situation I'm in, like if it's just kind of hanging out and TV's on as background noise
Yep.
as I'm hanging out with my husband or something, then I might pick up the more challenging one if I'm not really invested in whatever he's watching.
Correct.
But if it's, you know, if it's something I want to watch, or if I'm sitting with people and chatting and I want to,
Yep.
you know, really pay attention and focus on what.
Or it's been a really long day and literally my brain cannot take
And you've got a glass of wine in front of you too.
Yeah, or even not. Sometimes I don't even need the wine. It's just
I know.
I need to decompress and not think about what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So, but I think, you know, the main thing is practice.
Yeah,
The
I mean,
number of hours that I've logged knitting to this point is
a lot.
astronomical.
Yeah, that's a lot.
So,
Yep.
and I didn't look like this when I first started knitting.
No.
Even probably for the first 5 years of knitting, I did not
Well, I
knit
think
like this.
that's the hard part for a lot of things. You know, if you look at anything, it looks really, people that have been doing it for a long time make it look really easy. Like, think
Yep.
about different sports that
Mhm.
you've seen or activities, and knitting is no different, really.
Right.
You know, and I think, I don't know why, but I think a lot of people think that it should be. You know, they should be able to just grab the needles and do it. But it does take practice, like everything else.
Yeah.
And you know, especially when I'm teaching new knitters, that's the biggest thing I tell them. I'm like, even if you work on it for only 15 minutes a day, you know, pick it up and work on it. Same with spinning. Spinning is the same way. It's building that muscle memory and establishing that.
Right. So
And-
the motion is second nature.
Yeah. Yeah, and really, it doesn't sound like a lot, but even just 15 minutes will do wonders with how your practice. And it's the same for anything, really. You know,
Yep.
obviously, if you can work on it a little bit more, then you'll get there a little bit quicker. But also, especially when you're very first starting, you don't want to do it too much, because I mean, your hands will cramp because you're using different muscles than you usually would for other things. So
Yep.
I know it's funny. So you guys know that I have this thumb thing I've been working on through with like an OT and whatever. And so one of the I was doing one of the exercises, and the muscle in my hand kind of like bulged out because of the, she was having me use rubber bands to create more resistance.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, "Oh my God, that muscle on your hand is huge." And it just sounded funny. And I'm like, I use my hands all the time for so many things that I'm doing. And she's like, maybe I should take up knitting so I can build up the muscles in my hands. It was really funny.
Oh, yes. And it will.
But, yeah, so it was funny. But yeah, you don't even think about, you know, how much movement you do and use, but they use a lot of those little muscles.
Yep, little tiny. I can feel them if I've been knitting for too many hours on end. Or sometimes just using, like these are like 12-inch circulars, and the tips are so short on them that after a bit I can start to feel.
Yeah, you have to position your hands a little bit differently than you normally would. Yeah. Yep.
So, anyway, so I just thought I'd gotten enough questions about it recently that I figured I
it's
would
a great idea.
pop it into the end of the podcast here and see, we were worried about having a short podcast.
We really should never be worried
should
about
never-
that, because
no.
we can always fill it.
Even last week when I was like melting from a headache, like we still had almost.
Yeah. So anybody that noticed last week that Ange looked a little bit
peaked, perhaps.
worn out, exhausted,
yeah,
whatever.
She
had
nasty
a
headache.
Yeah.
So I muddled through it.
Yeah.
And I would like to say that after we got done podcasting that I just took myself right home, but I took myself right home after going to pick up all of my kids, both my kids and the dog. So I was not a happy camper by the time I got home, but that's all right. I survived. I survived.
Do what you got to do, right?
Absolutely. So, all right, we should probably sign
Wrap it
off,
up. I know.
and we'll hopefully see all of you next week. Notice that I'm already not optimistic. Just giving you fair warning. Don't be surprised if we don't drop an episode. It's because I apparently live in a house of plague. So anyway, hopefully we will be here, because I love coming and hanging out with Cowl and chatting with all of you guys.
I know. That's when we get to do our catch-up time.
I know. crazy.
And then usually the only time the three of us get together, we do a monthly business meeting, and that's like the only time we. So at least we get to see each other all together
About
once a month.
Yep.
Every once in a while, the stars will align and we'll.
Yeah, like Saturday, which was weird.
I know. Yeah, because Jen popped in for a bit.
Yep.
So, and I was doing lessons, and
Got the SOS text about 6 a.m.
Yeah.
I was like, I was very tempted. Just put my phone down and be like, I didn't see that. I was like, bad business owner. It's fine. I had fun. I hadn't worked in a store in a while, so. But anyway.
Alright, guys.
All right.
Thanks so much for coming and celebrating
Yes.
our 3-year podiversary with us.
3 years.
And we hope you have a great weekend.
Yep.
Hopefully the weather is
Amazing where you are.
good for you
Yep.
over the weekend.
Mhm.
And
Fingers crossed we'll see you next week.
Yep. Hopefully we'll see you next week. But if not, just know that, you know.
This too shall pass.
Yep.
Woo! Oh man.
Huzzah.
Huzzah. So
All right. Thanks so much, guys.
See you later.
Thanks for the last 3 years. We've had
thank
so much
you
fun.
so
and
much.
Let's see where this takes us for the next 3 years.
I know.
Okay. All right. Bye.
Hanging on because people seem to love that stuff.
I think we're gonna have to bump it up a little bit so that we get the full crown effect.
Yep.
Oh, you just have to open them. They can't be closed.
Oh. Oh, right. Okay. See, I don't know how to. Operator error. I don't know how to work with lines.
There you go. Your crown is laying down.
I know, because it's the only way it'll stand my head, and it's all like lopsided. Like literally, my crown is drunk.
I have my hair is so thick. I've got really, really thick hair that it kind of holds it.
It's too big. It's too big for my head.
You've got really fine hair.
Yes,
So it probably slips
it does. There,
through your hair.
there,
Nice.
and I don't have much of it.
We got some bling on.
Guys, we've been podcasting for 3 years. Look, and we have.
We're gonna have another episode where it's 10 minutes okay.
It's probably not gonna. Well, maybe.
So what are these? They're coconut lime.
They're coconut cupcakes with lime frosting. Yum.
We have a local bakery. It's like 2 miles from here.
Yeah.
Bad news.
So good. So good. Yeah, those are good.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we need 10 minutes of cake because I don't have very much knitting.
I know. I've got crocheting. I've been crocheting.
Look at you with a finished object.
Mm-hmm. I started it last week on the podcast.
Mm-hmm. Amazing.
Crochet so fast.
I know. It's fast.
No, it's not, because you throw it across the room.
You know how I know it's fast? I've been coloring my crochet. It's super fast. I don't even have it's so fast. I don't even see it happening.
Oh my god. That's fast.
Super fast.
It was funny, I was working on it on Sunday morning, and my husband was making breakfast. He usually makes me breakfast one weekend morning,
Nice.
which is really nice. So he does French toast. He loves doing French toast. He's just recently been figuring out the whole cooking thing.
Yeah.
He's been grilling for a long time, but he's like, you know, getting the cooking thing down and not just like working off recipes, like actually doing kind of his own thing. I cook
We refer to that as winging it.
Yeah.
In the house.
Yeah, and I've been doing that, like, you know, since I've been cooking, and I do most of the meals during the weekend when I get home. But anyway, so he does a breakfast. So usually Saturday or Sunday morning, depending on what my work schedule's like, we'll sit down and have a breakfast together. And so he in between like one of the steps or whatever, he was watching me as I was crocheting, and he's like, "That's so fast." He's like, "How do you even know what you're doing?" He's like, "It doesn't even look like you're doing a pattern." He's like, "It looks like you're just moving your hand really fast." I was like, "Oh boy."
It's a secret life of crochet.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, I'm gonna put this down. I'm not gonna eat this whole thing. I may or may not have already eaten an entire bag of the caramel M&Ms.
Ooh.
Have you seen those? They have different flavors of M&Ms now.
I've seen those, but I haven't tried the caramel ones.
Caramel ones are pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
But it's probably like 3 servings per bag.
Mm-hmm.
And I ate the whole bag, so I'm sure I'm gonna have some Easter sugar sickness going on here.
Depends on the size of the bag.
It was like a normal size. It wasn't like the king size. It was like a
yeah.
normal size bag, but
I think they only do 1, maybe 2 servings at the most in. But I don't know. There's a lot of sugar in that.
still probably more than my normal weekly intake of
I
sugar
know.
in that little bag.
Yeah, no kidding,
No,
right?
eat a huge amount of sugar.
No, I don't either.
Particularly refined sugar.
Yeah.
Maple syrup and
Maple syrup and honey.
honey and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, not a lot of refined sugar.
Almost no more.
It's very bad for you. No hate mail because I said that.
You can yell at sugar you want, people.
Do whatever you want.
I eat sugar sometimes.
Do whatever you
Because
want.
I just,
Clearly, I do too, because I just fessed up to eating an entire bag of caramel M&Ms.
every once in a while I just get a craving, or like I want some ice cream or something.
Exactly. But
But, you know.
we're so spoiled here with so many like local producers of like ice cream and sorbets and
I know.
things that. Of course, you haven't lived till you've spent like $6 for a pint of ice cream. Or more.
I had
But it's so good.
I had friends that worked at Ben and Jerry's because I lived just a couple towns over from there,
Oh yeah.
and you get like 3 free pints a day, a week or something.
Whatever
I
that
forget what it is, but
it's a lot of ice cream.
they would always have so much to be like, "If you want some ice cream, please take some ice cream." So, yeah.
Yep. Well, and there used to be places around. I haven't seen them as much. Where you could buy seconds.
They used to, so the town I grew up in, Mahurans, the local supermarket there, they had a case and it was always seconds.
So it was like two couple dollars cheaper than like a regular pint, but it was like, because they have standards about how intermixed things have to be, and if it wasn't quite up to their par, like it would be considered seconds. It basically tastes the same.
When they'd be changing over from
Yeah.
one flavor to the next or something in production lines. But I never got one that wasn't what
No,
it said
totally
it was
fine.
supposed to be.
Yeah.
Because sometimes they're like, if this
It
one
could be.
was partway in between a production run, it could be this or this. But I never got one that was different than what it said. And that was when Ben and Jerry's used to have like the red and white and black containers. Probably most people don't remember those because that was years ago. That was when I was a kid, but they were really cool and I always remember those, and I think they should go back. Just saying.
Just saying. Yeah.
That's like, I remember when Green Mountain Coffee Roasters was a teeny tiny little cafe in my town. We had some really good stuff come out of my town. Well, not that Ben and Jerry's came out of my town, but they're close.
It was close.
They're close by.
Close.
Grace Potter. She came from my town. I knew her sister. I didn't know her. She's young enough behind me. I didn't know her.
Cool.
I know.
She's got an amazing voice.
She does. We have a number of the Von Jobs that I grew up with. I know. All kinds of cool stuff in Vermont.
Kinds of. Yeah.
See, this is why you people need to come and visit us here in
Yes.
Vermont. Because we love it so much. And this is why we talk about it.
And you can have a chance
I
at the
know.
next retreat. Maybe if it doesn't sell out like immediately.
I know.
So,
All right.
all right. 8 minutes of cake.
8 minutes of cake. That's not too bad. I'm not getting any more right at the moment.
Yeah.
I'm gonna drink some water because that was sweet. It was good. The lime is good though because that kind of helps.
It cuts the
Mhm.
the sweetness. Yepers. Wah, wah.
Okie dokie.
All right. Are we ready to get going?
I think so. Oh, you know what I was gonna do? I was gonna pull up one thing on my phone. Since I didn't bring all of our
Colors over.
yarn over.
Well, or we could just say if you want to see all of the pretty yarn,
I know.
follow us on Instagram
Yeah.
or Facebook. Because that picture was amazing. And I was here when you took it. Because I got to wear that.
Oops. I want this.
Which is actually kind of fun. Even though I wasn't really expecting it. And
There. I've got that pulled up now. So I can show the pretties. And you can also just go online. I've got the link in there, so you
Nice.
can look at all the colors there.
nice.
Okay. Now I have to remember where I was.
Crocheting another thing?
I am.
Oh, goodness.
I already Instagrammed it.
I've been off of social media for kind of. I've just been popping in.
I've been seeing
been-
you clicking like on
I've been
people's
liking
Instagram.
lots of
And
things.
that's about all the action I've seen from you on social media.
That's about all I have the energy for right now.
Yeah.
So,
All right, I'm good.
all right.